Hello, lovely boys and girlies and
girls and boys and girls.
No,
boys.
I was going to say girls, boys, and
other toys.
No, stop putting words in my mouth and let me be all inclusive. I was going to say like people that don't identify as male or female, but I couldn't think of a. Hello, everyone.
There you go.
Welcome to WITMOT podcast.
The third week.
No, what is the meaning of this podcast?
No, the fourth week.
This is.
Have we said the title of the podcast in any of the podcasts so far?
I think so. I think this is the. So this is our fourth episode, but I think this is the third week. So yeah.
Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Week 3.
You know what it is.
Week 3.
You know what it is. Black and yellow.
We talk about why we talk about the things we like and why we like them, what that means, whether we're similar, whether we're different, etc., etc.
I was going to say etc., etc.
Well,
what are the chances?
Because
I've
Jake
already
said
said it. I've taken it.
So evil.
Yeah, today we're talking about. I don't know what we're talking about.
We are talking about the
films.
Yeah,
That's right.
Our top 5 films.
Films
to watch when you think the world is going to end.
Yeah. So
now, obviously, the world is not ending.
No,
and it isn't going to end.
There's a lot of people out there that think it is, or have previously in other experiences thought it is.
It feels a bit like the world is ending, even though it's not.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories out there, and lots of people believe different things.
So it's just kind of like talking about what films we can watch over and over again.
Yeah,
that makes us feel the same thing.
So the world's going to end. What are your best comfort films that you can watch over and over again? So our top 5 films that we think are best. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
yes.
See, this is how we do it on the podcast. We have an episode idea already, but then it's not fully fleshed out, and we have to check
work it out
that we're all on the same page.
Is that right?
Start the episode. Yeah,
we work it out during the podcast.
I mean,
it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, this might be. I think this might have different meaning to different people. Like films, comfort films and films you can watch over and over again. So I feel like we might have quite a varied
look on this
thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Shall we just get straight into it?
Let's just get straight into it.
Go on, Jake.
Jake, you go
All
first.
Right. My list. Number 1, no particular order, because it's the classic, The Nightmare Before Christmas. It is
Of
one of my
course.
favourite films, one of my favourite Disney films, and it was one of my favourite films as a kid, so it's very nostalgic, it's feel good, it's neither here nor there, whether it's a Halloween or Christmas film, so you can pretty much watch it any time of the year. Yeah, it's just a really nice film.
Why do you... I don't think we've ever asked you this, but having known you for this long, why is Nightmare Before Christmas one of your favourite films? What is it about it you like?
It's all about people who don't fit in and don't belong, and them finding each other and them finding happiness out of each other. But also it's everything that Disney wasn't at the time, I think.
It was something fresh, wasn't it, I guess?
It was the first stop motion animation feature length film, and it was Disney's first stop motion animation project. Tim Burton was an animator for like a few months there at Disney, so it was a big risk, but it's turned, like, when it first came out it did kind of well and found its audience a bit, but then it was still niche when it came out, so that 20 years later, when those people who found it then have had kids and showed it to them, it's found a new audience, and kind of, as you've noticed and lots of people have noticed, has just still been one of the most popular
I feel like
Disney films around.
All cult films met with underwhelming box office income. Like, I was reading up on one of our quizzes that we're doing at the moment. I was reading up on Rocky Horror Picture Show, and I didn't realise how massively it flopped at the cinema, and then it it did quite well in the end at the cinema, but it took ages for it to get off the ground and to get the word out.
A lot of films are like that though, aren't they?
Yeah, some films now, I think cinema's more of a cultural thing that everyone does. I think it's easier now for indie films to still do well.
Yeah.
But like back then, when it was kind of like a proper treat to go to the cinema, which I guess it still is for some people. I think it's I think that's probably why it happened more so then.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I also watched the Prop Hunt. Is it Prop Hunt?
Prop culture.
Prop culture.
Yeah.
Prop culture episode of the Nightmare Before Christmas episode of that. And,
on Disney Plus.
Yeah, the director Henry Selick, he's got the prop of Jack in his sleigh, in his Santa costume. It's the whole thing with the reindeer and everything. And he's like, I took this because it encapsulates Jack in what he wants from the film. He wants to bring the most people joy, and he's the most excited and the most himself when he's in this bit.
Yeah.
And it's just a nice little thing to remember.
That's so cool.
Times. Yeah, that's why I like Nightmare Before Christmas, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yay, that's cool.
What have you watched any other episodes of Prop Culture, or just that one?
No, just that one.
It's so interesting, isn't it?
So interesting. It's
the guy that is kind of like the one that hosts it all.
The collector. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I did not
collector.
understand why people collect things like that excessively.
No.
But by the end of that episode, I was like, I get it.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
I completely get it.
Yeah, if you, I mean, this is like off topic kind of, but if you haven't checked it out and you have Disney Plus, Prop Culture, it's all about like film props. We watched what have we watched? Narnia and Mary Poppins.
No, yeah.
Mary Poppins is so interesting.
Oh,
Narnia was kind of like, I think they did it because Narnia's got a strong following. But it was a bit,
loved the Narnia one.
Yeah, and it was cool, but it's like, I think because it wasn't that old. I guess it is, but because it doesn't feel like to us it's that old, that I wasn't as blown away. It was like, that's a cool costume, but it's from like 12 years ago, so it's not. Whereas Mary Poppins is like, oh my god, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like they have the chimney sweep brushes and the penguin
bag.
stand in. Yeah, and that was cool. But I need to watch some more of it because I really, really enjoyed that.
Cool.
Super cool.
Awesome, Jake.
Yeah, but that's the only Disney one on my list, actually. Any Disney ones from you peeps?
Of course.
I have no Disney films on my list.
Really?
Yeah, and the reason
I didn't
put any on there is just because I feel like Disney films for me are just all kind of comfort films. Like it's quite a slippery slope because I don't know. I just there's I can't really name many Disney films that I can not watch over and over again or like struggle to watch. Like I love Inside Out and I love Hercules and I love Lilo and Stitch and I love Emperor's New Groove, and I just didn't want mine to be a Disney list because I'm sure that's something we will do at another time. So no, I don't have any Disney films, crazily enough. My first film on the list is it's a bit of a shit film, but
doesn't matter.
But it's feel good and it's comfort, and I've seen it so many times. It's We Bought a Zoo with Matt Damon.
Oh,
yes.
I love that film.
Yes.
It's just a very happy film. There's nothing critically like acclaimed about it, or like it's got awful reviews, but it's just a very I don't know, it's a feel good film. There's nothing that I feel like anyone could complain about the film, like just watching it, but unless you're looking at it from like a like a film point of view and like trying to critique it, then obviously there's lots you can pick apart, but it's just so easy to watch, and it's I don't know, it's
the animals are so cute.
Yeah, you don't really have to concentrate on it. It's like got a really happy ending. It's based on a true story, and it's also about something good. It's about like, although it's about a zoo, which zoos are kind of in this sort of grey area, like a large portion of the film is him saying like, I want to make the enclosures bigger. They're too small. The animals need to feel like they're free, which is it's cool. I remember watching it from a young age and liking it, and I just like I said, it's just one of those films I'm never not in the mood to watch. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure, I guess. But
That's what these films are.
yeah,
Supposed to
exactly.
make you feel good.
Cool. Is it me?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, my first film is an absolute classic. I love it.
You turn into like a football presenter. It's an absolute classic here.
Go!
Cheers, Jeff.
It is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh,
yeah.
it's a good shout.
I think it's one of my favourite films ever. It was the film my parents always used to put when I was younger. My parents used to put that film on every single night, so I would fall asleep. I love it. It's just it's so good, and I love it so much.
Is that why you think you like musicals so much? Is because as a baby you were put to sleep by them?
Possibly that, and The Sound of Music. I was made to watch every single night because they put me to sleep. Probably.
Okay.
There you go. That's I never thought of it like that, but yes, that makes sense. But yeah.
Again, me and Tom like musicals equally, but I don't think I was put to sleep by any.
I'm not. I do like The Sound of Music, but I didn't love it as much as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
So, if I'm going to be put to sleep by anything, it's going to be a pillow over my face.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I don't know what. It's just such a classic and iconic film.
It's a good film.
Dick Van Dyke is so good in it.
What about it makes you feel comforted?
The car.
Yeah.
I love the car.
Anna loves cars.
I don't know what it is about. This is why I want to go to Bewley so bad, because it's got the car.
I've constantly heard you talking about Bewley, and I'm like, what? Are you sure you know what Bewley is?
I really want to see the Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car. It's there, and I really want to see it.
Please tell me that going to Bewley is on your list for the next
After
episode.
Locker.
No, but I just like that car is so iconic, and I love it so much. And I always talk about this on when I speak to our other friends about it. The moment in the film when the car is presented and comes out of the garage is so good.
So, just to not to downplay that moment. at all,
No, stop! No, don't do that moment.
please.
But the bit in the film, you know, when the kids are like waiting in the house for him to be ready, and then it's finally ready, and there's the like big orchestral music, and he comes out, and those doors open, and it's like the best car ever. I don't know why I love it.
I have to tell the story.
And Trudy Scrumptious' dress, I love.
We went to see a youth production of Chitty Bang Bang in Swindon.
Oh no!
And as there's that, they had like a huge.
I wanted to cry because I was so it was so awkward.
That's so funny. They had like a huge orchestra as well, because it was one of these like rare productions where they just have like mass.
There was so much money as well put into this show. The set was very good.
It was like that, and it's obviously the first time you see the car in all its like remodeled glory is that big like and like the doors open and you can just see the lights and there's like smoke, and then as it comes further out the whole car's revealed and you're like, oh my god, that's so good. It was like these like they had like a plywood set, like it was obviously quite cheap for the doors to open. And
well, the kids are like, it's daddy, and then these doors were like...
and then you get all that music, they're like da 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 da, and the doors open maybe like 2 foot and then get stuck, but the car continues to move forward
because it's electronic. The car is like controlled to go forward. The lights are on the car, so you can very clearly see this car, and you just hear it whacking against the door.
Well, no, it wasn't like hitting on it. It was obviously like pushing on it very slowly, and the set was resisting, so you could hear like the plywood like snapping and breaking. And it was like.
And then it was, out of all of them, it was the guy that was playing the granddad that had to force the doors open, because the guy that was playing Cracticus Potts was obviously in the car driving it forward, so he couldn't help. Because he was like, and apart from that on stage, it was the actual children.
Why is this not working?
Regardless of that, like, it should have been someone from the stage crew that would come on. It shouldn't have been left to a child.
Yeah, unfortunately,
to
the stage crew were also children.
But it was no, but they have to have like some people backstage and chaperones.
But that was, I think.
But it was so funny.
I wanted to cry because I was like, that's probably
hilarious.
I think that's probably one of my favourite moments in a film ever. Because it's just so iconic.
It's one of my favourite moments on stage ever. It's such a grand moment, and it's just it's so funny.
And there's just great songs in the film as well.
Yeah, genuinely.
So
it's just because the orchestra sounds so beautiful, and it's like ba ba ba, and you've got
music is
amazing. It's like the doors don't open.
And then you think the car's gonna crash, and it doesn't.
I honestly
flies.
thought the set was gonna bust open.
Okay, I'm trying to go off this topic here and talk about my film.
Okay.
That I like, and you always ruin it with that story.
Well, you shouldn't have taken me to go and see it.
Because I love the show. Damn. Anyway.
It means a lot to you, and it brings you joy.
Brings me happiness. And then that happens on the stage.
Ironically, Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
Oh, what a film.
I think we briefly talked about this before. But I thought about it and I was like, yeah, to be fair, Shaun of the Dead is, out of the 3 Cornetto trilogies and out of Edgar Wright's films, I think is one of my favourites. It makes you laugh, it makes you feel sadness and happiness and everything in between. The jokes are funny every single time you watch it, no matter how many times you watch it. Even if you can quote the jokes, you find them funny just at how clever they are. They're just so good. And it is a disaster movie. Like, it is people escaping an apocalypse and finding some sort of humanity along the way, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of the best kind of British comedy films ever made.
I think that's what makes it so great as well, is that it's British. And like, I sometimes find that it's difficult to do British, especially in it's definitely changing now for TV, but it's difficult to do British in cinema without it seeming tacky and cheap and a bit like it's trying to imitate Hollywood. But
yes,
Edgar Wright, in like every film he's done that I've seen, has managed to do the opposite. And
he's literally made a British film look like a Hollywood blockbuster film, whilst encapsulating the like wit and humour and sarcasm and music taste and culture of British people.
And what I love about like that and Hot Fuzz is that it's something that and I guess also World's End is like, it's something that American people can still enjoy, but it's a culture that they just won't understand. Like, they how can an American like conceive in their head the idea of like a tiny village full of old people without thinking of like an Amish society? It's like, it's so British, it's such a British thing. And like pubs, like that whole pub scene in Shaun of the Dead, it's like you just don't get pubs like that in the US. And it's like something,
they're very well done,
something they can't
films.
Something they can't claim as their own, which is quite rare, I think.
But yeah, it just kind of, it inspires you with how good films can be on like such a small budget and in British like production houses and stuff. And
Hot Fuzz almost made my list, but I didn't put it on there because I think it's possibly one of my favourite films.
I always switch between Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz between which one's my favourite.
They're both so good.
But that's my Shaun of the Dead.
That's a good one.
My next one is a classic. It's about a man in a red jacket who drives a car. Any guesses? I'm trying to think of, like, you know, when you do like a bad description, it would be like mad scientist. Mad scientist kidnaps child or not kidnaps. I don't know.
Like,
boy,
old man convinces child to almost sleep with his mum.
Yeah, boy almost sleeps with his mum to save old man's life. That would be the description. You got it.
No.
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future. Yeah, Back to the Future. I grew up on Back to the Future, and it was quite possibly my favourite film for a while. I just think it's like the perfect film. It's got everything that a film should have. Like, it's got comedy, it's got bits of drama. You have to suspend your disbelief. And it's got like an unusual like friendship, I guess, you know. Like, it's an unusual pairing of people. I think it's just, I almost didn't want to put it because it's such a like obvious answer that, you know, so many people love Back to the Future, but it's such a good film.
What about lockdown makes you want to go straight to Back to the Future?
Exactly.
Well, I guess yeah, if we could have a time machine, we could go back and
Back to the Future.
Stop that guy from eating that bat. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, you know, it's one of those films I've seen so many times that I can kind of watch, and if I don't pay attention, it doesn't really matter because I know what happens. I love the 80s as well. I think that's quite a reminiscent time.
Yeah.
Where I'd love to go back to the 80s if I could go back in time. I guess this whole thing is kind of, in a way, makes you feel like you've gone back in time a little bit because you're not quite as connected to people as you usually would be, maybe. But then in some ways it's the complete opposite. Like, you're also connected all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah. Back to the Future.
What a classic.
What? Sorry.
What a classic.
What a classic. I thought you said what one. But yeah, probably the first one. I like the second one too. One thing I like about the second one actually is seeing what technology they thought we would have in 2015.
Oh, it's so funny.
I think that when he goes to the like town square, the film that's playing is like Jaws 45 or something like that.
So
it's
funny.
Like, it's way further ahead than they think. It's such an exaggeration.
That's why I like it though.
It's kind of like, yeah.
Well, it's goofy, isn't it? But it's not so goofy that like you can watch it and laugh and be like, oh, this is ridiculous. It's like, no, this is a classic. This is, yeah, a goofy classic, but not a goofy movie.
That's a different movie.
That's a Disney movie, yeah. Yeah.
Cool. My next film is a rom-com, because I always like a comforting rom-com, because I'm a girl and I like rom-coms.
Yeah, boys like rom-coms too.
Yeah. Justice for Boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I have a rom-com as my honourable mention.
I was going to say, do any of you have a rom-com?
I have a rom-com.
Yeah.
As on my list on that I think.
Okay. But mine is Love, Rosie.
I did love
Nice.
Rosie.
Which I think is one of my favourite films. I don't know why I love it so much. I just do. Just, yeah. I remember watching it at the cinema, and I just really liked the storyline. I think it's so sweet and quite a current rom-com as well. Like the stuff that they deal with in it. Like, she gets pregnant and she doesn't like the dad, and yeah, it's very, very cute and very sweet. And I think Sam Claflin and Lily Collins are both very good in it. And I like Sam Claflin as an actor, and I think that was the first film that I was like, I like him as an actor. So yeah, that's
cool.
Yeah, that's what I've got to say about that.
I haven't seen either Love, Rosie or Love, Simon, but I've heard amazing things about both of them.
Yeah, they're both really good.
We watched Love, Simon last year. Last year, yeah. Love, Simon's really good.
Yeah.
Doing a TV show, I think, of that.
Yeah. But I remember when we were working at the cinema, and this was the one screen, like, I think it was Seniors were on. It was the Seniors film, and I snuck in and went to go see it with all these seniors and my cup of coffee.
Shall I do my rom-com honourable mention now?
Yeah, got him.
Now that you've done yours.
Okay.
Well, I wanted to put About Time, but I feel like I haven't seen About Time enough times for me to call it a comfort film.
How ironic.
So the rom-com that I put as my honourable mention was Notting Hill, which is playing lots at the moment.
In this household, don't ask me why.
It's on Sky, I think. So it's
yeah,
just on all the time.
it's doing its time on Sky.
To be honest, you can apply it to any like early 90s film that Hugh Grant was in, or early late 90s.
4 Weddings and a Funeral.
Yeah, Love Actually. So Notting Hill was my honourable mention. I love that film.
Nice.
Yeah.
My kind of rom-com, I think it is a rom-com, I'd class it as a rom-com, is Amelie.
Amelie.
Yeah.
It's hilarious and sweet and lovely, and first watched it when I was around my aunt's house. It was the first foreign language film I'd ever seen, and I loved it, which was a big surprise because I was like, why would I like any film in a different language? That's silly. I was like 10, so understandable. But yeah, it's just as you know, very comforting, very sweet, and
such a lovely story.
Still haven't seen Amelie.
Oh my god!
And I've been meaning to watch it. I've seen the musical twice, and I freaking love the musical. It's one of my favourite musicals. Possibly, well, it might be tied for first place as my favourite, but I need to see the film. Yeah, the filmmaking, the lead actress is amazing.
Yeah.
The story is unbelievably romantic and also not cliche at the same time. It's just, it's awesome. It's a really, really good film and helps distract you from the horrible things of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I feel like it's kind of a rom-com.
I would say it's a rom-com.
Well, assuming the story is the same as the musical.
Yeah. I remember watching the film in my French class.
So good.
Let's watch this film because it's most probably the most popular French film.
And in like the first scene, she talks about how many people are having sex right now, and there's loads of sex scenes going on about.
That's like in the musical.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of films that aren't in like every film that is not in English will just get categorised into foreign language.
Yeah.
Which is why it was so refreshing that Parasite won
the Oscar.
Yeah. Genuinely.
But yeah, no, I would put that in rom-com.
Yeah, I would say it's a rom-com too.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's that about that.
What are we on at the moment? Number 3. I've done that one. My number 3 is an animated film, and it is Storks.
Yay!
Have you got Storks on yours?
No, I love Storks. I
Such a
forgot
good
about that one.
I was literally thinking. I was looking through like a film app I've got, and I was like, what films do I like that are comfort films? And I saw Storks, and I was like, yes, Storks. What? Give me one bad thing about Storks. There is literally nothing. It's so weird and so funny, and it's very comforting. I wasn't sure whether I should put that or Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs because I love that, but Cloudy also would maybe be on one of my favourite films. So,
I went with Storks.
So I went with Storks because it's just so good. I love Andy Samberg, and it's kind of got that like SNL cast, same as Cloudy, but it's just such a. I don't know. I think the thing I like about Storks is that it's that kind of where do babies come from. That's like the question that you think that it's kind of going to be about, and then. It's not. That's like a very small amount of it, and it's about something completely different, and it's just about family and like massive corporations and like Amazon and stuff like that. I don't know. It'd be like Inside Out, watching Inside Out, thinking it's going to be about someone growing up and the emotions in their head, but then it actually being about something else, and that being a very small part of it, which I guess
it's
is.
It's just
kind of,
so cute though.
It's just so.
There's so much babies.
And it's so underrated.
Doggies.
Such an underrated film.
Yeah.
Like it didn't do massively well in the box office, but it's just good. It's like,
I remember seeing it in the cinema.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah, so do I. I think we watched it together. It's just a great film. Very, very comforting to watch. Anna, what's yours?
My next one, and I don't want to say it now. Because it's going to make me sound like I am actually obsessed with this. But my third film is Cars.
Right.
It's my favourite Pixar film. And
I didn't know Cars was going to be on there. I was waiting for it.
Yeah, it's such an easy, sweet film to watch. I can watch it over and over again. I really like the music in the film itself. Like there's some cute...
Love Rascal Flatts.
Yeah, Rascal Flatts. And Cheryl... Is it Cheryl Crow? That does the Real Gone number.
You could say Cheryl Cole.
And then the songs that they have, like when they're in Radiator Springs. I just think, and then visually, like when they're driving on Route 66 and everything, it's just very nice and visual to watch. It's such an easy storyline. Characters are very funny and iconic and cute, and who doesn't love little cars as people and bugs and things?
The scenery is just so lush.
Yeah, like when they do the drive through, like in the mountains, when Lightning McQueen and Sally do that drive, it's so nice.
Just before Jake does his next one, we just wanted to apologise because we had our fan on in the background, thinking that we sort of thought you couldn't hear it, but you can, and it was rather loud. So sorry, we're new to this shizzle. Yeah.
Don't say shizzle.
Shit. We're new to this shit. Is that better?
Sure.
Cool. Jake, what's your next one?
My next one is SpongeBob SquarePants the movie.
Yeah.
The first one.
Of course.
Again, it's a film I watched countlessly as a child. It's one of the few DVDs we owned. So I played it every single evening. In my evening.
Of course.
In my bedroom. Yeah. I watched the TV show when I was a kid. It was the TV show I think I watched the most as a kid, along with like Drake and Josh and a couple of others, I don't know. But yeah, watched the TV show all the way through, and then the film came out, and it was so good, and I found it so funny, and it's still as funny as it was when it came out. Yeah,
it's great. I mean, like, it's comedy for everyone, isn't it? Like, it's It's so stupid, but everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah, it's a comforting film that you know every word of, and it's just part of your childhood, I guess. You just know it back to front, in and out.
I haven't watched it in a while, actually, but it is a great film. David Hasselhoff's in it.
Yes.
Yeah. I always seem to forget parts of it every time, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, that actually happens.
He has like robot nipples, doesn't he? Because he like shoots them underwater
like
with
pecs.
it. Yeah,
he presses his pecs together and shoots them down.
It must be a thing of like, what famous person can we get for the next SpongeBob movie? Like, they had Antonio Banderas in Sponge Out of Water, and they've got Keanu Reeves in the next one. And of course, with the Goofy Goober song.
Yes.
I can't beat it.
You can't beat it. I would perform it, but I'm afraid we'll get sued for copyright.
Yeah, we have to change it. We're all Goffy Gobbers, yeah.
Yeah.
Goffy Gobbers. I'm going to have a look on IMDb quick, because I'm sure there's someone famous in it that plays like the princess.
Yeah.
It's like Avril Lavigne or someone, I swear.
It's like Drew Barrymore.
Do you know what her name is? The princess? No, I can't think what her name is either.
Oh my god, it's Mindy, and it's Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson, that's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
She's the princess.
Crazy.
Jeffrey Tambor's in it. Alec Baldwin is in it.
Nuts.
Who else? Just all the regular cast, really.
Yeah. And everyone else.
That's it. But yeah, Scarlett Johansson.
I knew it was someone famous because it was on a list of like famous people, celebrities that were in famous films that you never knew were in them, and that was one of them. I can't remember who it was, but there you go.
So cool.
I love SpongeBob.
Yeah, so that is one of the
there's something so
comforting films.
There's something so refreshing about something that is just like so so like what it is at face value, and like nothing to read into it. It's just stupid on the surface. There's no hidden meaning. It's super cool. My next one, my fourth one, is another animated film. It's called Kiki's Delivery Service.
I didn't put any Studio Ghibli films on there. Why not?
Have you seen Ponyo? We watched that for the first time the other day.
No. Oh wait, no, I haven't. No.
Yeah, there's a couple of Studio Ghibli films that I haven't seen still, so I don't know if any of those would sort of take its place, but Kiki's Delivery Service is the one that I find sort of easiest to watch.
That's the most popular, I would say, as well.
No, Spirited Away or My Neighbour Totoro, I would say, but that's the one that I watched with you, wasn't it? And you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's the only one I've heard of beforehand.
Yeah, I feel like you would probably recognise Spirited Away or My Neighbour Totoro because they're pretty huge. They're like the Pixar of Japan, I guess. I just find it really easy to watch. It's a really chill film. There's something that I find really like relaxing to watch when it comes to like cartoons from the 90s, like that style of like old animation. Like you can tell it's a bit grainy and it's not perfect. I like stuff like that. I like the 2D animation as well, instead of sort of, like the 3D stuff, which I do love. I think is amazing, but I don't know. There's something. I don't know. I think there's something cool about imagining something being hand drawn and then turned into a film.
Yeah, definitely.
So Kiki's Delivery Service is my number. I was gonna say number 4, but I guess it's my number 2, right? Is that how it works? Countdown.
Cool.
My number 2 is a Disney film.
Of course.
It is Lilo and Stitch.
This almost made my list.
It's not my favourite Disney film, but it is such a good comfort film.
Mm-hmm.
Like the idea of it being like to do with family, and like Stitch as a character is brilliant, and so sweet. I just think it's such a nice, comforting film. I could watch it over and over again and I wouldn't get bored because it's just so nice and funny. Yeah, I think it's a very good Disney film as well. Yeah. Very well made, and it was one of the first films I ever saw at the cinema with my dad. Very cute. There's not much to that film. Like, everyone should know what Lilo and Stitch is about, right? Do I need to explain it? No. I don't. But
if you don't watch it,
I feel like a lot of people know Stitch more than the actual film. Like, that is one of those things that the character is bigger than the film.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a very underrated film.
Good
it's very, very sweet and cute.
Very good choice.
My number 1 is the Grand Budapest Hotel.
Okay. I was going to say, do you want to do honourable mentions, but
never mind, I don't have any.
No, that's fine. Grand Budapest. Go.
It's Grand Budapest Hotel. It's my favourite Wes Anderson film. Yes, it is. I thought it might be Isle of Dogs, but it's not.
Are you putting Grand Budapest over Isle of Dogs?
I think so, yeah.
Whoa. I thought you really liked Isle of Dogs.
I do, and I love it. It's one of my favourite films, but the Grand Budapest is just so good. It's just so good. I think everyone who sees it loves it. It's classic Wes Anderson in the fact that it's funny, but it's more like witty and aesthetically pleasing to watch, and there's hardly any conflict, like major conflict, so you don't feel like anything horrible is going to happen. It's just kind of this light-hearted nature all the way throughout the film, even though some bits are quite dark.
We watched Grand Budapest at the cinema, didn't we? But it was before I think either of us really knew who Wes Anderson was, and we were so like we were just like, this is so weird. And I think we came away like hating it. But now I know who Wes Anderson is. Like, I know so much more about film than I did when we watched it. I think I would really enjoy it. I need to rewatch it.
Yeah, I think it came out in like 2014 2014, 2015.
Yeah, I think so.
And it's not... There's so many characters going through so many different journeys. There's no time to be like, this is exactly what I'm doing, this is exactly what I mean, this is exactly what I'm going to do. It's just all in subtext, and it's all in their witty dialogue and this amazing voiceover. I can't remember the actor's name, but he's got the most amazing voice. Never mind.
Ozzy Osbourne. I think that's him. Yeah. Shaun! I'm in a recording studio.
Budapest Hotel.
Cool. My number one... Oh, I've got a couple of honourable mentions, quick. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Ah, nice.
One of my favourite films, but I didn't want to include it on my list because I thought I could have some others. Shawshank. Can watch that all over. Yeah, I can watch that so many times, you know. And Guardians of the Galaxy. Those are my honourable mentions. My number one, however, is also one of my favourite films of all time, Little Miss Sunshine.
Nice.
I love that film so much.
So cute.
So easy to watch, you know, good message, equally just a great film. I also, on my honourable mentions, had the Way Back, which is I think by the same like writers and producers. It's got a very similar feel, and Jim Rash is in it from Community, so you know, I feel like he wrote it or did something with it. But yeah, no, Little Miss Sunshine is just, you know, like it's about a family, but there's nothing remotely perfect about them. They're so dysfunctional and they're falling apart like most families across the world. And I don't know, there's something nice and comforting about just the like honesty of it. It's funny, and we saw a musical of it last year, and it was amazing, and it works so well as a musical. And it didn't feel like corny or like they'd sort of sold out or cheap or anything. It was really good. So yeah, if you haven't seen Little Miss Sunshine, go and watch it. It's so good. And Steve Carell's in it, so you know, if that's not sold you, then stop listening to this podcast, please. Yeah. Anna.
Cool. My honourable mention is Legally Blonde. Such a good
that is a really good shout.
It's funny. The musical's good too. And then my number one is another Disney film, funnily enough.
What a surprise.
It's The Princess Diaries.
Oh,
The Princess...
that is a surprise.
And I'm collectively saying 1 and 2 because 1 and 2 are both really good. They're both... Yeah, I don't have a favourite. They're both such good films. Yeah, again, it's got Julie Andrews in it, Anne Hathaway. I absolutely love the film, like the films itself. I can't wait for the third one. Yeah, I could watch those again and again and again. I absolutely adore them. They're so good. Yeah, there's not much else to say about that film.
I like Princess Diaries.
Yeah, they're such good films. I just remember it's
unexpectedly good.
Yeah,
they're sort of, it's one of those films that you think like, you know, like, oh my god, I don't want to watch this like girly princess flick, and then you're like, no, actually, you know what, this is like, it's why you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. You know what I mean? It's like, oh no, I actually really enjoyed that. Yeah,
I love them so much. They're just brilliant.
I think it's the sort of film that you could make a dad watch and enjoy. You know what I mean? And like, not to generalise, but you know, a lot of dads are quite, what I think would be like, oh, I don't really want to watch this, and then would end up enjoying it. Take their daughter
to see it, and then they're like, oh, it's such
a good shout.
Yeah, there's just
it's alright.
I don't want to watch fucking princess film, do I? Fucking, oh, she's gonna be Queen of Genovia, Jesus Christ.
Oh god,
I'm fucking hooked.
Yeah, they're really good. Lots of funny moments as well. They're actually very funny.
Doing a third one as well, aren't they?
Yeah, I can't. I do. Yeah, there's lots of famous actors in them both as well. Like Chris Pine's in the second one.
Mental.
Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Loads of people.
One of the horses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Famous,
it's just and I think it takes the mick out of like being royalty as well as like, because they always joke around about like how royals are meant to act, and then
Quite topical at the moment.
yeah,
Harry and Meghan.
yeah, very funny. So yeah, that's
Good.
my final one.
Well,
That's our top 5 fives.
Ta-da!
comfort films done.
Yay!
Done. Tick it off. We're never doing it again.
Guys, I think if we watched all those films, we would be very happy that the world was
We'd be
ending.
so happy. I want the world to end now.
Look at all these films I've watched.
Look at all those chickens.
Yeah, those
Cool.
are good.
And bye.
Till next time.
See you next week.
See you next
Goodbye.
walk.
Oh, follow us on things,
Yes.
please.
Bye.
Follow the things, everything. Follow
things.
everything.
Follow the clues.
Follow
when
the
we need you.
things. Twitter,
But do not follow us. as
Twitter
in-
and
in
Instagram.
person,
and YouTube.
if you find us. Bye. I'll just stop this recording now so you don't have to listen to more of me sneezing.